Holiday Special. This feels like what I would be hallucinating if I would drink that blue milk out of that titty thing.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus.
And while she's singing, you cut to Ford, and he's more over it than we are. It's just written in his face. Then it's basically VR, bro.
Yeah, that's spank material right there, because she's like, I am your wishes and your desires.
I'm your desires.
I'm like,
I'm here to pleasure you. I'm like, is Grandpa gonna start from the middle of the living room right now? This is a Star Wars?
Oh, yes. Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
Hey, welcome to the list. This is a show we pluck out of a name out of our all-time movie watch list, watch it, and review it for your viewing pleasure. The thing we're doing today, just out of straight-up curiosity, is a 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special. Chewbacca and Han Solo try to get to the Wookiee homeland of Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day, but are impeded by an Imperial blockade. Chewie's family passes the time with various forms of entertainment. Now, I am not a Star Wars guy. Like, I'm more excited for like a video game Star Wars thing than I am for any kind of movie. I feel like Star Wars fans, I'm sorry, and you guys know, are trolling on purpose now. They got to a point where nothing can make them happy, I feel like.
It's not that nothing can make them happy, but it's just that they've been f***ed over so much that they don't even bother.
Like, with so much Star Wars shit, which I believe they should just take a break of Star Wars completely. Give us like a decade off. There was a giant break between the first trilogy and the second, right? So when the second trilogy came around, people were pumped, and there was also a nice chunk of time between the second trilogy and the last trilogy, right?
There's no last trilogy. The last trilogy was the prequels.
That's the kind of Star Wars guy Felix is. He gets pissed off at the little things.
Brother!
You think that the first movie of this latest trilogy is bad? It's the better out of the three.
Yes, it's the least worst of them. Bad, it's worse, and it's terrible. That's the order.
So you're looking at it retroactively with the information of the other two movies.
How can I not do that?
When you just first saw the first one, there was a little bit of hope. You were like, oh, well, you know what? This could be okay. You didn't think it was the worst thing ever. The other two movies made the first movie shit because of what they entailed to explain or whatever, right? Whatever. I haven't even got to this goddamn thing. I was trying to explain what kind of Star Wars guy I am, and we went on a 5-minute rant of bullshit.
I think that's the clearest way you can know what type of fans we are. You're a more casual fan, and I'm a little bit more into the I'm into the lore and all that stuff. I do look into the little things.
You're a fan.
To find. Yeah,
I'm a casual. I'm not even a fan. I enjoy like I said, I enjoy the games more.
And I'm closer to a superficial fan compared to the like diehard fan.
No, you're closer to the diehard than you are to casual. We just went on a 5-minute rant about it. but my point is, I think Star Wars fans are at the point where nothing will make them happy. Mm-hmm. So give them nothing so they'll get happy, because within the mix of all the Star Wars shit that we've been getting for a while, there's been good things. Andor's was good, but yes, to get the Andor, you have to endure the books of Boba Fett's and the Ahsoka's, right?
Was that a pun?
No.
You gotta endure.
You gotta endure. But back to the point of the list, we've been getting shit for forever, right? This thing came out in 1978, and it was supposed to be a Christmas special. I had not seen it. I had just heard the legend of how terrible it was, and boy, did this thing not disappoint. I feel like Star Wars fans should watch this to realize how bad it can actually be. It could be worse. It could always be worse.
Yeah, I think that phrase just speaks volumes to what the this is.
Yes, this is really bad. So, before we go down the line on the Star Wars Holiday Special, make sure you head on down there. Let us know what kind of Star Wars guy you are. Be nice. I don't know. Is that possible with Star Wars fans? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you like hanging out with us. I greatly appreciate it. Let's dive into the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Where to start?
We start with Han and Chewie running away, and then it cuts to like a Saturday Night Live intro. And the guy starts introducing Chewie's family. That was weird.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. His wife Mala. His father Itchy.
The first thing you can clearly see this is going to be dog shit is that they don't even use the Star Wars font.
No, yeah. It's like they had to pay for the font and they were like, we can't.
Exactly. And after that, you see the visuals and you know you're going to be in for a ride.
There is like TV special written all over this thing. So we cut into a Wookiee hut, which is Chewie's family, and they're playing around, and it's 3 of them, and it sounds like a cat getting run over by a lawnmower, man.
We can agree that you can convey a lot of stuff without dialogue.
Hell yeah.
Case in point,
Mando.
Godzilla X Kong. What the was this?
I don't know.
They were just like,
yeah, it was foul. Like, and like we didn't even need it. They could have just been silent the whole time because we get what they're trying to do. You know, the little one is told to go away because Grandpa wants to play by himself.
Lumpy.
They have names, but those names that are used in the show are their nicknames.
Yeah.
So why you even bother with the names? You're just doing extra writing. That's the most George Lucas shit ever. So the little kid is Chewie's son. The lady is Chewie's baby mama. And then the old guy is Chewie's dad. So it's Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
So the mama heads over to Chewie's headshot and starts moaning and groaning over there. Then Grandpa picks up a cassette and starts playing it for the little kid. And some weird ass circus freaks pops out of their little thingy and stuff happens for a little bit too long, in my opinion.
Now this sets the tone of what the special is, which is it's a bunch of like skits intertwined or linked by Star Wars, quote unquote, Star Wars moments.
Attempts of form of entertainment,
but just random stuff.
Random as shit. Like this feels like what I would be hallucinating if I would drink that blue milk out of that titty thing.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ.
I would be seeing
you ferment that shit and this is what you're looking at.
I'm looking at this like Cirque du Soleil Star Wars shit going on. It's like, what the hell? And what pissed me off the most is that everything goes on for way too long that it should.
Dude, even there's a musical number a little bit way down the line that how much, dude, it was more than 5 minutes. Jesus.
They both go on for a little bit way too long. So it's Life Day. So Mama is waiting for her baby daddy Chewbacca to come home, but he's being chased around and messed around, right? So she heads on over to her GPS and starts looking for ships, and nothing appears. Then she FaceTimes Luke to see what's going on, and his hair is off, right?
Now, this looks like a 60-year crackhead Bender Luke.
He was heavily maked up because he was recovering from reconstructive surgery after a near-fatal car crash.
Yeah, it was after A New Hope, right? When that happened.
Yeah, he just looks weird. But even I'm not even talking about his face. Like, yeah, his face does look weird because it's heavily makeup. But why does his hair is a different color?
But the hair's a different color. The wig, man.
Yeah, the wig is terrible. Well, that has nothing to do with his face.
That's horrible. And then the eyes. Oh my god! The thing that I just can't forget are his look, like desperation. Like, please send help.
So Luke is like, if Chewie and Han aren't there yet, it must be they must have ran into trouble. Then he switches up and he's like, no, don't worry, Mama. And he assures that Chewie will be home eventually.
The Jesus is gonna be home
for Life Day. Yeah. Then she goes over to another screen and looks into a shop, right, where there's an Imperial guard and he's looking around the shop owner. Well, she's FaceTiming the shop owner, but she FaceTimed too early, so we get to see what the hell's going on before. And then he's like, oh, she's calling me. And he starts to tell her in code that Chewbacca's in her way. I guess he's like some kind of smuggler or whatever.
After some Oscar-worthy performance by the inspector.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there either.
No, it looks like he was like coerced into doing that.
Yeah, he's like, it looks like he was doing like lazy rehearsals.
Yep. Just phoning it in.
Yeah.
I suppose you want to see my identification?
No, I'm off duty. I've come to look around your shop.
Oh, good.
Then we get a weird cut to Darth, who's like, I'm looking for the rebels. And then that's it. That's all we see of Darth Vader. The whole damn special, he's gone. They actually reused some footage from the previous movie because they didn't even bother.
But he said, even if we have to scour every household in the galaxy.
I guess to like entice fear to the little kids or something. we only see that in the shop owner for a few seconds because I guess we've had too much dialogue and it's time for some Wookiee noises. So we go back to the Wookiee crib where they're screaming and yelling all over the place. I do like the music. It's the same song, but different versions of it. It's like the main theme, like sometimes sped up, sometimes slowed down. But I have to look for something because for an hour and 30 is a lot. Well, then Mama is cooking, so she turns into some blackface version of the stepmom from Cinderella.
Hold on, isn't this supposed to be the same the vendor guy?
It's the guy. It's the same old guy. The same old guy plays all the funny characters, but he's not funny, man.
No.
He's very cringy and he's like,
dude, he's trying.
He's the only one trying to be fair.
Exactly. That was the exact thing I was going to say. He's the only one trying.
But he sucks.
That's the worst part. I mean, in a masochistic way, that's what makes it even more beautiful.
It was like, I don't know if they wanted him for this role, but they were looking for Robin Williams. I think it was for this role, which makes way more sense. But
Yes.
they themselves turned him down. They said no to Robin Williams.
What?
Yeah.
They were looking for Robin Williams without him being Robin Williams.
And then they turned it down. They're like, no, mejor no. It's like, what? If it was Robin Williams, somebody with like crazy character acting talent, right? I don't know this guy, and I feel bad to be dunking on him, 60 years later or whatever. But he's not a main funny guy, man.
No, he tried. He tried.
Art Carney, like, I'm sorry, I don't know. I've never seen him before. I don't know if he's like known for like to be a funny character actor. He's not it. I'm sorry. She over here cooking a loin, and we're over here like idiots watching her do it.
You gotta stir it, then whisk it, and stir it and whisk. But then you stir and whisk and mash at the same time.
Stir, whip, beat, stir, and then there's like this whole. Again, it's supposed to be funny, but it's not. I'm sorry, and it goes on for way too long.
Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, 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 stir.
Anyway, the mama finally does us a favor and shuts that shit off. Then we aggressively cut to Han and Chewie in a fight, where you can see good old Harrison Ford giving about 50% of effort. I don't know.
I think 50 is being too generous, man.
You can see it in his face. He does not want to be there. And after research, Harrison Ford was partially reluctant to appear in this special, but eventually was convinced. His experience with this special was so bad that he wanted out of the franchise entirely. The contract kind of forced him to do this thing, and he didn't want to do it.
I mean, thank God for him making this and sticking in the franchise.
They were only a movie deep, I think.
Because this was way a little bit before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, this was supposed to like set up Strikes Back, yeah.
Which I think is the best Star Wars movie.
Wait, I lost control of the remote cannons.
So eventually martial law is declared on the planet due to rebel activity, so no ship can depart or land. Then we go back to the shop guy who shows up to the Wookiee crib with presents. Again, this guy keeps popping in throughout the whole thing. He's like the star of the show, right?
Yeah, I think this is our main guy.
He gave Grandpa a new game for his VR set, which starts off weird, right? It's like these cool crystal visuals and these ladies swimming. Then it's basically VR porn, bro.
Yeah, that's spank material right there, because she's like, I am your wishes and your desires.
I'm your desires.
I'm like,
I'm here to pleasure you. I'm like, is Grandpa gonna start jerking off in the middle of the living room right now?
he was straight up watching VR porn. And you know what? Respect for the old geezer trying to get it up. But Jesus Christ, this is supposed to be a family movie.
And I thought Dirty Thoughts, right? When the shop owner's like, and here you're gonna like it. I got you.
This is
yeah, wink, wink, nudge. You're gonna like it. And I didn't think like, oh yeah, okay, that's kind of weird, right? He's not gonna be sexual. And then it kind of was.
Yeah.
Then after doing research, is like it was intended for it to come off like porn. And then she starts singing. So what's more sexy than this lady starts singing?
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I am appalled.
Yeah.
I am just done with this shit, but I want to keep watching.
It's so out of place. It's weird.
Oh, yes. Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
And then right here is when you start to go, okay, I think I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to like do different forms of entertainment.
Like a variety show.
Yeah, they're trying to do some sort of variety show. But again, it's not cool music. It's not cool entertainment. It's not nothing that's like, whoa, I must watch, right? And it just goes on for way too long.
How can we ever lose this minute?
This is a Star Wars? What am I watching? Like, I literally asked myself that probably 7 times during this special. I was like, this is Star Wars? What is this? Why is there a lady singing to this old Wookiee guy on a cat? It's just so much. Anyway, I gotta move on. Anyway, then we cut to Leia and C-3PO. Like, yeah, it is a Star Wars. All right, they're over here doing secretary work.
With Leia, let him flop.
Mm-hmm. That was nice. Mama Face calls them, and Leia tells her what's up, and she tells him that the shop guy, and she asks the shop guy to keep an eye on the Wookiees for her. Then we cut to Chewie and Han make it to the planet, and they're flying around after being chased. How did they get in? Doesn't matter. It's not explained.
Where there's supposed to be a blockade by the Empire.
Yeah, they just stroll in, I guess. I don't know. We don't know. We cut to the mom and the kid are excited because Leia told her to chill out. There's a knock on the door. Grandpa's still jerking it on the couch. And troopers are there with this guard who they just walk in. He don't say shit for like a long time. He's just like looking around. And it's like awkward and weird. Like, say something, like threaten them, do something.
This unit is occupied by 4 Wookiees.
We get the reports there's supposed to be 4 Wookiees in this house, and they only see 3, and where's the other one? So they figure that Chewie, who they've been looking for, is the one missing that lives there.
I don't know how you take that leap, but sure, let's go run with it.
I guess they run the house? I don't know. They know who lives. I don't know.
Run the plates. They run the plates on the house?
They run the plates on the house. Yeah. I don't know how Star Wars works, man. Anyway, the guard starts inspecting the gift that the shop guy gave to the mama, and guess what? It's another musical number. And the guard's digging it, but I'm not. This shit was too long and boring and confusing. I'm just too confused to enjoy the shit. I'm like, what am I watching?
I mean, if you're a fan of just Jefferson Starship, this is going to be your shit. But no, this was terrible.
The old guy keeps popping in trying to be funny.
Yeah, him setting up the thing was amusing, to say the least.
Well, it took a while for you to realize that he's stalling on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't tell if he's like that kooky or if he's stalling, you know? But then he's like all killing bugs. It's just really, really weird. Then the kids start making a racket. He starts biting people. So they tell him to chill him out. This is by far the best part of the special.
Agreed.
Like any good parents in the old days, you grab the child and you sit him in front of a TV set. A cartoon starts to play where he sees Chewie and Han in the Millennium Falcon and they start going kind of crazy. Chewie's acting a little sus, and it's a cartoon, and we're watching the cartoon. The artwork kind of looks like fan art, but at this point, it was like something beautiful to watch.
To me, it was like a beautiful fever dream.
Well, because everything else was shit.
Exactly, yeah. The animation was fluid, but it was so strange. The proportions kept changing, and it was so weird.
It almost looked like something a parody show would do.
Exactly.
So in the little cartoon, Luke gets away from the creature, and then Boba Fett shows up to save him.
At this point, I was like, dude, wasn't Boba Fett supposed to hate Luke or whatever? And it gets explained.
But it's a show. In the lore of the story, what is the kid watching? A cartoon about his adventures of the dad? Like, who's making the cartoon? What is he watching? Like, that's the part that's like very confusing to me.
Yeah, story-wise, it makes no sense because his father and the rebels are supposed to be one of the most wanted fugitives in the galaxy because of what they did in the first movie, and now they're making shows about them?
I don't understand. Anyway, in the little show, Luke follows Boba Fett to the Millennium Falcon where Chewie has a talisman that puts Luke to sleep.
Because of a virus that the Empire, developed.
So to wake him up, they need a potion. So Boba and Chewie set out to go get that. Boba lets Darth know that he's got him, but R2-D2 over here hacking and shit, and he intercepts the FaceTime and figures out the plan. They go back to wake up the guys, and C-3PO spills the beans, and Boba flies away.
Now, inside this cartoon, we kind of get Mando's gun is from. Literally.
It's kind of cool. And then Chewie says that Boba stunk, and that's how he knew all along, and they laugh, and the episode ends.
Mm-hmm.
I would have much rather for the whole special to be a cartoon like that. Just tell us a bunch of different stories.
Yeah, because it was a wacky, kooky ride.
Yeah, it was that was the most entertaining. That's where my eyes were peeled out for the most.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not that. So we go back to the crib. The guard keeps searching for shit. They make a mess in the little guy's room. They tear a stuffed animal's heads off. And all this takes way too long than it should. He's told to go back to his room and clean. So he gets up there and starts building his present that the shop guy gave it to him. And it's another instruction video with the same guy again, who's supposed to be some sort of robot thing.
Feels weird. Discombobulated. Yes.
And he's like malfunctioning as he's telling the story. Again, it's supposed to be funny, but it's not. It's just lame, whack, and takes way too long. Then we cut to a show called Life on Tatooine, where all the stormtroopers are not looking for shit anymore, and they're watching right in the middle of the living room.
Which was supposed to be live, right?
I know. And didn't the TV said like, stop working and take a break and watch this, like mandatory? I don't know.
It is required viewing for all members of the Imperial forces.
Time now for Life on Tatooine.
It's B. Arthur playing a bartender. And again, the same non-funny old guy shows up with makeup now. He's a different guy trying to talk to her. He drinks out of the top of his head. Homie's got zero riz. She rejects him and ends up pouring whatever the hell they're drinking down his hole. It's like building up towards a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It over-explains the joke, so the punchline of the joke is not funny.
It just kills it.
Yeah. What? Like, we understood the joke the first time you said it, and you made it drag along. Well, then the Empire puts a curfew on it, and no one budges from the canteen. Everybody's sitting there drinking, demanding more drink, and then another musical number starts. She starts singing. Is this a show, or is this... It's supposed to be like live from the cantina, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's a show, just like a random feed into a bar?
Looks like it. I mean...
I guess that would be cool, because it would... How many fights happen at bars in Star Wars?
All of them.
It's just so random. There's no purpose to the madness. The song is weird, and she ends up kicking them out. So, in real life, this cantina scene took an entire day to shoot. The actors in the alien costumes began to pass out due to lack of oxygen.
Giant teddy bear guy that she kicked out because she was passed out?
I don't think he was. He was acting, but oxygen tanks were provided for them to use between takes. That's why.
Wow, that is just messed up, George.
We go back to the crib. The kid's making a transmitter and tricks the guards into return to base, but they tell a trooper to stay behind in case Chewie comes back home.
Every part of this movie is dragging.
These two sentences are like 10 minutes.
Yup.
So they leave. He goes upstairs and catches the kid doing with the transmitter because it's still saying go home after they left for some reason, but he smashes the transmitter. The kid runs away. He's about to shoot the kid outside and Chewie appears. And then he just points at Chewie and does nothing. He doesn't shoot him. He don't put him in custody. He don't do nothing. He's just staring at Chewie. Good old fashioned stormtrooper training. Then Han jukes him into him tripping over the rail and falls over. Like, how could you explain this move though? He jukes him into tripping over some shit and falling. Like, it don't push him, punch him, kick him. You juke.
Make it look more dynamic.
Do something. A juke? That's what you came up with? Him juking. He jukes him into the... It's so stupid.
With the best Han impression, Harrison Ford. And not Harrison Ford playing Han. He's making a Han impression.
Han says that he loves everybody and he eventually leaves. Then the shop guy shows up again because we can't have another scene without homie. But then there's a message on TV ordering the trooper to turn on his comm. That's really embarrassing. Imagine if you're actually a trooper like, hey, pendejo, everybody can see the message being transmitted.
Simon.
But the shop guy calls him and he's like, oh yeah, that guy robbed the house and left. So they buy the story. Then eventually the shop guy leaves. Then the Chewbacca's grab bubbles? Snow globes? What do they grab?
Like some crystal globes.
It's something that they're offering up to the sky. And then they're teleported into the sky and they're walking on stars with all the other Wookiees that are celebrating Life Day.
Because of course.
So now there's a shit ton of Wookiees yelling and screaming all at the same time. And it sounds exactly like we would expect them to. C-3PO and R2-D2 are there somehow. Then Leia, Luke, and Han show up out of the blue. She gives a line of speech like from Peanuts about how all the same against evil and we love each other, and she starts singing.
Bust the song out.
She wanted to sing Carrie Fisher, but she didn't like the song.
Oh my God.
By the way, Carrie Fisher is like the only actor from this horrendous mess that is like open to talk about the shit, which is awesome.
Yup.
And while she's singing, you cut to Ford and he's more over it than we are. It's just written in his face. He knew that thing was going to be shit. He knew it the whole time. It's basically lyrics to the theme song, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, it is.
That one day we'll be free.
Then we get Chewie's highlights from the past movie, which was weird. Like he's reminiscing.
Mm-hmm.
You think it would end there? No, we go back to the crib to watch them say grace for their dinner, and we pan out to the hut, and this mess finally ends. And it sounds like it took forever to end because it did. It takes like 10 minutes. Wait, just end it already. Put me out of my misery.
This movie takes a psychological toll on you, machin.
George Lucas famously tried and failed to buy up all the master copies to make sure this thing was never broadcasted again. He was embarrassed about it. He realized the garbage that he put out.
Hey, the first step in growing is admitting your mistakes.
He hates this thing, like most of the actors do. Like I said, Carrie Fisher's the only one that was open to talk about it. You can't even mention it to Harrison Ford. If you bring it up to Lucas, he'll walk out of your interview. It's like a very, very famous thing.
Oh, neta?
Yeah.
Or most of the times that Ford has been with Conan, it's like, I got a clip. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. It didn't happen.
Do you remember making this Christmas special? I think it was 1978. No, you don't remember it? What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now? No!
Because they did look like damn hostages, man.
Yup.
So this last fact makes 100% of sense. Bruce Vilanch, who was a writer on the thing, admitted he was using coke heavily while developing and helped write the special.
I don't know about you, but I think it shows.
There should be a warning before you start to watch this thing. The writers were heavily using coke during the development of this special. And you're like, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Proceed with caution.
I mean, back in the 70s, the thought of Star Wars was already like a coke dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you like coke up and you get this, man. It is, it's
a masterpiece.
It's something. It's definitely something.
It's something.
It's something. It could always be worse, man. That's the motto of the day.
Lucas set the bar so low that when you say it could get worse, it like literally puts fear in my body. Are you so glad that you watched it?
I understand. Because I've heard what it was, and I heard the horrors. This wasn't put out in any other way. It's almost like taboo to watch it almost. I think the cartoon, I think that's up on Disney. The people who did the Boba Fett cartoon end up doing Ewok cartoons and other stuff, right?
Timon.
They wanted to do a damn spin-off off of this thing, but then they came to the senses and said no. So if you want to watch this horror mess, I will leave the link down in the description. And while you're down there messing around in the description, if you can leave us a comment letting us know all your Star Wars thoughts, just dump it on us. Let us know where you at with Star Wars, what do you like about Star Wars, what do you hate about Star Wars, do you watch this thing, do you defend this thing? I wonder if there's people out there who defend it. Any and all Star Wars thing, let us know down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. May the Force be with you. Remember to always and forever you do.
Bye.